He starts off by saying something what should be absolutely uncontroversial and would be from any other president, right? Which is America is pretty damned great. And guess what? The men on the mountain were great men. That doesn't mean that they were sinless men, but they were great men. And pointing out they were great men does not mean that you have to overlook their sins. Here was President Trump talking about this yesterday.
There could be no better place to celebrate America's independence than beneath this magnificent, incredible, majestic mountain monument to the greatest Americans who have ever lived. Today, we pay tribute to the exceptional lives and extraordinary legacies of George Washington, Thomas Jefferson, Abraham Lincoln, and Teddy Roosevelt. I am here as your president to proclaim before the country and before the world, this monument will never be desecrated. These heroes will never be defaced. Their legacy will never, ever be destroyed. Their achievements will never be forgotten. And Mount Rushmore will stand forever as an eternal tribute to our forefathers and to our freedom.
Now, what's hilarious to me about the media reaction to this is that Trump is talking about people who literally are calling for the destruction of Mount Rushmore, right? They've actually talked about this. They've said that Mount Rushmore is bad. There have been headlines from the Washington Post and the New York Times in the last week saying it's on stolen Native American territory, which again, the New York Times is located in, last I checked, Manhattan, which was bought for a few beads. Okay, so the New York Times is free to hand over its building anytime it wants to native tribes. I do not think they're going to do that anytime in the near future. It's very expensive territory. But the media have said, well, who wants to tear down Mount Rushmore? Nobody wants to tear down Mount Rushmore, right? How could he even imply that people want to tear down Mount Rushmore? The same people who are upset with the implication that Trump is making that people want to tear down Mount Rushmore cannot understand why anybody would be upset with the sloganeering about Black Lives Matter, because many of us are upset with the implication that there are a bunch of people in America who think Black lives don't matter, right? That's the objection that people have to saying Black Lives Matter. Not that they don't think Black lives matter, but that they are annoyed by the implication that there are a bunch of Americans who think Black lives don't matter. So the media read deeply into every implication that Trump says and then ignore the fact that his implications happen to be true, while at the same time ripping on conservatives who suggest that the implications of certain phrases are unsupported by evidence. Okay, Trump continues along these lines and he talks up July 4th. Again, all of this stuff is wildly uncontroversial. Now, okay, I want you to, let's see if you can spot it. Can you spot the darkness here? The darkness and the malevolence and the calls for racial division anywhere in here? I'm going to play a lot of clips of President Trump now. See if you can spot it anywhere, because I got to be honest with you, I'm missing it because I have eyes and I have ears and these things function. So if I'm not, I feel like I would get it. If it were there, I feel like I would. Here's President Trump talking up July 4th, which here's the reality. People think that he's racist because he's talking up July 4th. Right? They actually agree with Colin Kaepernick. They think that Independence Day is bad and evil, which means that Trump is correct. Here's President Trump.
We gather tonight to herald the most important day in the history of nations, July 4th, 1776. At those words, every American heart should swell with pride. Every American family should cheer with delight. And every American patriot should be filled with joy, because each of you lives in the most magnificent country in the history of the world, and it will soon be greater than ever before.
Why is this controversial? President Obama used to say this kind of stuff all the time. It was not the end of the world. Trump says it, and it's apparently the end of the world because they can read the seething racism pouring out of his orange head. He's a bad orange man. So everything he says, he can say the exact same words as Barack Obama in the exact same way. And it's like, well, but Obama meant because he was bending the moral arc of history toward justice. But Donald Trump, he's evil man, very evil. Here's President Trump talking up the founding fathers and saying a true thing.
Our founders launched not only a revolution in government, but a revolution in the pursuit of justice, equality, liberty, and prosperity. No nation has done more to advance the human condition than the United States of America. And no people have done more to promote human progress than the citizens of our great nation.
Okay, so the speech is beautifully written. It's not like incredibly well delivered here, but it doesn't matter. The president's message is spot on. And the fact that no Democrat would give the speech is incredibly telling. It's incredibly telling. There is nothing controversial in this speech. There is nothing that should be controversial in the speech. Here's President Trump suggesting that the 56 patriots who gathered in Philadelphia were good, were doing a good thing, which again, if you're living in America and experience the glories of its benefits, you should recognize. Okay, and we all are. Okay, the greatest privilege on planet Earth right now is being an American. That is a privilege. Okay, that is a privilege. Not white privilege, not wealth privilege. Living in the United States is a privilege. And if you don't believe me, try living in China and see how it goes for you. Truly. There are true repressive places on Earth. America is not one of them. Here's the president.
It was all made possible by the courage of 56 patriots who gathered in Philadelphia 244 years ago and signed the Declaration of Independence. They enshrined a divine truth that changed the world forever when they said, all men are created equal. These immortal words set in motion the unstoppable march of freedom. Our founders boldly declared that we are all endowed with the same divine rights given us by our Creator in heaven, and that which God has given us, we will allow no one ever to take away, ever.
Okay, so again, nothing controversial here. Are you hearing the darkness? Are you hearing the despair? Are you hearing the racial division? I'm not. Okay, so here's where President Trump starts going after the people who are actually attempting to tear down American history, the people I call disintegrationists in the book. Right? Here's where he goes after them. His characterization of them is accurate. He's not making it up. It's not out of his head. It's not him creating figments of his imagination or fake enemies, as Max Boot suggests. How do I know that? Because I just spent half an hour describing to you just the stuff that happened over the weekend that proves that what he is saying is not fake. Okay, here's the president talking about people who wish to destroy our common history.
1776 represented the culmination of thousands of years of Western civilization and the triumph of not only spirit, but of wisdom, philosophy, and reason. And yet, as we meet here tonight, there is a growing danger that threatens every blessing our ancestors fought so hard for, struggled, they bled to secure. Our nation is witnessing a merciless campaign to wipe out our history, defame our heroes, erase our values, and indoctrinate our children. Angry mobs are trying to tear down statues of our founders, deface our most sacred memorials, and unleash a wave of violent crime in our cities. Many of these people have no idea why they're doing this, but some know exactly what they are doing. They think the American people are weak and soft and submissive. But no, the American people are strong and proud, and they will not allow our country and all of its values, history, and culture to be taken from them.
Okay, so which part of that's false? There are angry mobs trying to tear down statues of the founders. They're literally doing it, like right now. Also, they are trying to erase our values and defame our heroes and do all of these things and indoctrinate our kids. And we talk about that, like, where's the lie? Show me the lie. Okay, then the president goes on and he describes cancel culture, which again is absolutely real. It is and if you don't believe me that it's real, ask the former editor of Bon Appetit, ask the guy who from the Southern Food Association who's currently being canceled, ask the former editor of the Philadelphia Inquirer or the former op-ed editor over at the New York Times. Why don't you ask Nicholas Christakis over at Yale, because he's not at Yale anymore, or Brett Weinstein over at Evergreen State College. He's not ever at Evergreen State College anymore. Ask Brendan Eich over at Mozilla Firefox. Yes, these things are real. Cancel culture is quite real. It is very, very real. Okay, and it comes for us all sooner or later. My suggestion has been we just all cancel. Let's just declare universal canceling. And then if everybody is canceled, nobody is canceled. But the president goes after cancel culture, which is ugly and terrible. And again, show me the lie. You can't. It's real.
One of their political weapons is cancel culture, driving people from their jobs, shaming dissenters, and demanding total submission from anyone who disagrees. This is the very definition of totalitarianism, and it is completely alien to our culture and to our values, and it has absolutely no place in the United States of America.
So naturally, the media wish to ignore what Trump is saying here. So instead, what they decide that they're going to do is just point out that he can't pronounce totalitarianism in that particular clip. Right? That's the key. That's the key. They're going to say cancel culture doesn't exist. Literally, there are people online whose entire job is to try and cancel other people. And literally their entire job, this is all they do all day long, is they try and find a way to cancel members of the media they don't like or outlets they don't like. And then they tweet out things like cancel culture isn't real. I am not kidding you. This is a real thing that happens. Okay, so again, show me the lie, spot the lie, and spot the divisive racial language. Okay, where's the division? Where is it? I'm missing it. He declared, but according to the media, he declared the culture war. Not only did he declare the culture war, the speech was about defending Confederate monuments. I'm not kidding. This is what they said. And they said that this was a dark, divisive, and horrible speech. Here is the president suggesting, correctly, that cancel culture has now infused most of our major institutions.
In our schools, our newsrooms, even our corporate boardrooms, there is a new far-left fascism that demands absolute allegiance. If you do not speak its language, perform its rituals, recite its mantras, and follow its commandments, then you will be censored, banished, blacklisted, persecuted, and punished. It's not going to happen to us. Make no mistake, this left-wing cultural revolution is designed to overthrow the American Revolution. In so doing, they would destroy the very civilization that rescued billions from poverty, disease, violence, and hunger, and that lifted humanity to new heights of achievement, discovery, and progress. To make this possible, they are determined to tear down every statue, symbol, and memory of our national heritage.
Correct. Yeah, this is all right. It's obviously true. But again, the gaslighting continues apace. And then he talks about how they've rewritten American history, which of course is correct. And he talks about how any movement that seeks to dismantle these treasured American legacies can't really love America. What they want to do is transform America, which, by the way, is the language that Joe Biden then purposefully used over the weekend. Right? Trump said these people want to transform America. And that's what Joe Biden says he wants to do, is transform America. Now, here's the most amazing thing. People called this speech racist. They said it was racist. Okay, I'm going to play a clip now that is not only not racist, it is openly anti-racism, right? So here's President Trump speaking universal principles from our Declaration of Independence. And again, you tell me, where's the white supremacist message here? I've been told that this is a white supremacist speech. See if you can spot the white supremacist message embedded in this particular clip.
We will state the truth in full, without apology. We declare that the United States of America is the most just and exceptional nation ever to exist on earth. We are proud of the fact that our country was founded on Judeo-Christian principles, and we understand that these values have dramatically advanced the cause of peace and justice throughout the world. We know that the American family is the bedrock of American life. We believe in equal opportunity, equal justice, and equal treatment for citizens of every race, background, religion, and creed. Every child of every color, born and unborn, is made in the holy image of God. We want free and open debate, not speech codes and cancel culture. We embrace tolerance, not prejudice. We support the courageous men and women of law enforcement. We will never abolish our police or our great Second Amendment, which gives us the right to keep and bear arms. We believe that our children should be taught to love their country, honor their history, and respect our great American flag. We stand tall, we stand proud, and we only kneel to Almighty God.
Does that sound dark and terrible to you? Any of that? If it does, then I think that you're getting America wrong. Because that seems like pablum, right? I mean, that is perfect. That is honestly just bumper sticker stuff that every American should believe, right? That's like the easiest thing in the world. That's the stuff you learn about America when you're in third grade, right? We want free and open debate. We like tolerance, not prejudice. We support law enforcement. We don't want to abolish the police. We think people should love the country. Like this is very easy stuff. This is American as apple pie, motherhood is good kind of stuff. Where is the racism in, we believe in equal opportunity, equal justice, and equal treatment for citizens of every race, background, religion, and creed? Every child of every color, born and unborn, is made in the holy image of God. Is that racist to you? Because I was told this speech was a racist, fascistic speech. You're going to have to explain it to me. Really, I'm missing it. This video is sponsored by Blinksale. It is the revolutionary invoicing software for small businesses. Spend less time billing, more time making the money with Blinksale. Go down to the link in our description and give it a click.